Our program Tuner focuses on contemporary Ukrainian music. I'm Vlad Fisun. Today, our guests in the studio are members of the Samantha project.
so sorry. It was a different story about life and glory. All down, baby. All down, it's all down, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hurt you like I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Мое ощущение от того, что сейчас происходило в студии, примерно такое. Капризное и, может быть, немного хитрое.
What is happening in the studio reminds me of the following. A capricious, cunning girl comes to a kind young man and says, "Listen, let's make music. I have some ideas. It's a bit difficult for me to describe. I will reject a lot and demand changes if the music sounds wrong and is not the way it should sound. But the final product should sound something like this." I just got a feeling of unesthetic musical work here. How is it in reality? Is everything carefully thought out and rehearsed, or is it nevertheless some kind of an improvisation or a piece of music created and produced with accordance with the aforementioned whim?
Продумано, четко, отрепетировано, или это всегда все-таки какая-то доля импровизации или вышеупомянутого каприза?
No, in fact, he sends me his song, I listen to it, and I think of how I can improve it. Then we meet and we record it. After it is recorded, he sweeps something away or makes it sound different. That is, we make changes after listening. Then we record the revised version and listen to it. So we record it and listen to it until it perfectly fits our concept. Therefore, it is not similar to the process of writing poems. For this reason, in the end, it contains a play on words and sounds, very sensual. For this reason, in the end, it contains a very sensual play on words and sounds, because it is part of the moment, relatively speaking. Do you always write more than you need? Or Dima, on the contrary, asks you to finish writing and give him more material to work with, and then you go through it?
Копошиться, искать.
Свободно, ну, по крайней мере, относительно вокальных партий.
We have more freedom. I mean, Samantha's vocal parts in particular. And more freedom is sometimes the result of our caprice. For this reason, we should catch Samantha's performance at exactly the right moment.
Samantha может изложить какой-то конкретный момент. Вот.
Does it sometimes turn into real whims or claps? No, and I say that figuratively speaking. It is important for me and probably for Samantha to catch the moment of sincerity. Samantha is a person of fine fiber. I feel it when I sometimes ask her for more doubles, and I understand that she does it forcefully. They have different energies, so we stop. Sometimes we delay the work, then we come back and start over. In my view, it's quite a standard procedure for many musicians.
Соответственно, несет не ту энергетику. Поэтому мы останавливаемся. Иногда откладываем произведение, потом переходим по новой. И, в общем, достаточно стандартная, мне кажется, процедура, как у многих музыкантов.
Ну вот я когда себе пытаюсь представить моменты, знаешь, моменты образования каких-нибудь проектов.
As for projects and bands, I can always read how they formed. When I hit the nail on the head, their participants agree with me and tell me that I was absolutely right. But in your case, only primitive cinematic banalities appear in my mind. For example, she passed by the stage while he was there with his guitar giving something the likes of a fireworks show, or vice versa. He was passing by the bench where she was sitting and sobbing while reading her own poems. And he said to her, "Don't cry, my dear, we will record some good songs based on your lyrics."
Плакала в тетрадку навзрыд и читала свои свеженаписанные стихи. Он сказал: "Не плачь, мы запишем на них классные песни."
I think Samantha is balancing me all the time, because I go deeply into some kind of drama and I cannot pull myself out. I mean the music.
Меня, потому что я сильно углубляюсь в какой-то драматизм и не могу остановиться, да, ну, в музыке я имею в виду.
You mean you inflame your passions? It's not inflaming. I want to grow and to be completely immersed in it. But I understand that at some point I have to step back and ponder. Are your compositions very short? No, they are not. They seem like they are short because of their dramatic intros.
Хочется, чтобы это было легче. Какой вообще конечный результат?
Do you want it to sound easier? What final result do you want to achieve? What is the Samantha project? What is it about? Is this the inner world of a girl's experiences, or is it, on the contrary, not an experience, rather some kind of coquetry using a magic marker in order to make people take your creativity more seriously?
Которое иногда надо так подвести фломастером, чтобы к этому люди относились более серьезно.
I don't try to flirt in our songs, and I do not think that we have a final goal in the form of some direction or work. They're broken up into some periods from the oldest to the newest. And others, it will be this way all the time until something happens. Maybe it will be this way throughout our entire lives until we move on to the other world.
Все время, пока что-то не случится другое, а может, всю жизнь будет, да, пока мы не умрем.
Ну, у музыкальных проектов иногда...
Sometimes it's difficult to systemize music projects. Sometimes it's wonderful and great. And sometimes there are situations when a producer, author, singer, poet, or the entire creative group, particularly when there are only the two of you, work over some sketches. You look for something everywhere, and then it is successful. For example, among viewers, or the head of a major production company proposes you take the story and develop it. And then other activity is either preserved or forgotten outright, and you start to develop it, to release a single, to shoot a clip, etc. Does such a project as yours aim to grow, or to play and try out different situations and accept all the things that in your opinion are good and require that your viewer be prepared for them?
Сейчас надо вот эту вот взять себе историю, да, и развивать ее. В какой-то момент все остальное консервируется, а может быть забывается вообще. И вы начинаете развивать это, и там, скажем, выпустить сингл, EP-шечку, снять клип и так далее. Такой проект, как ваш, он хочет так развиваться, или ему интересно играть и пробовать разные ситуации, и не отметать какие-то вещи, которые, возможно, с вашей точки зрения уже хороши, а зрителя надо доучить просто до этого?
Ну, со своей стороны я скажу, Саманта, наверное, тоже потом скажет.
In my point of view, Samantha probably exists to support me. She may have her own opinion, I hope. That will be more interesting.
Займемся плюрализмом.
Мне иногда...
Let's express different points of view. My long music career pushes me to discover new things in music. We've done a joint project with Samantha. Before that, my music was somehow different.
До этого другая немного была музыка у меня, то есть...
Was it called Samantha or not?
Ну, подсознательно.
Inside me, yes. But in fact, it was called Katarina. Katarina?
Не, можно озвучивать. В общем, ну, не это суть важно. В общем, важно то, что и иногда приходили такие мысли, что, ну, что там в тренде, да, как говорится. Но я не так, наверное, сложен со своей стороны, я говорю опять-таки, что я не могу остановить процесс.
Shall I continue? It does not matter. The important thing is that sometimes I thought of things that seemed to me quite trendy, but I'm a person of another sort. I cannot stop the process inside me. For this reason, I can allow myself to be trendy. But in fact, I feel in such whimsical and frivolous undertakings. It becomes boring and embarrassing when you look around.
Ну да, да, и это уже не интересен, в принципе, процесс, потому что для меня там творчество — это единственное место, куда можно...
It's not a very interesting process, because art is the only way that I can let my creative juices flow. It was made for me. As for Samantha, please repeat your question.
Ну, вопрос был в том, как...
The question was how to develop, how to seek a specific path, to try to apply a wide variety of artistic methods.
Методы художественные.
Нет, просто на самом деле, ну,
We, in fact, are always looking for new artistic methods. As for our path, we still require a producer's help. Even if you sometimes think that you are doing the right thing at some moments, but you still do not fully realize or accept the fact that you are, in fact, not going in the right direction.
Даже если иногда ты думаешь о том, что это было бы правильно, ради каких-то там моментов, но все равно у нас бы так, наверное, не получилось, потому что...
Знаешь, вот я не в первый раз...
This is not the first time when I face horrible reaction to a producer's figure such as Karabas Barabas that drives the cheerful people into a cage. He says, now you're not simply funny people, you're serious theater actors. Here's a script for you. Be good, jump, laugh, and cry in certain places and moments. This is all followed by an interval. But in the world of show business practice, producers are very good and sometimes useful people. They have not only personal ambitions or desire to make money immediately. They're people with great deal of experience, and your producer may be among them. And perhaps you are your own producer. I don't know, it happens differently in each person. But in my opinion, it's silly to fear a person who comes up to you and says, "Hello, I'm a producer. Is there any way that I can help you?"
Он есть где-то, а возможно, вы сами себе продюсер. Я не знаю, у каждого по-разному, наверное, это происходит. Но мне кажется, не надо бояться человека, который приходит и говорит: здравствуйте, я продюсер.
Это не страх, но просто серьезно ты говоришь про мировой опыт.
It's not fear. You talk about world experience. We, anyway, live here. We already have our opinion. I mean, an opinion about producers' role in the local conditions of music and show business.
По поводу там продюсеров.
Посмотрим, возможно, результатом этой программы станет...
We'll see. Our program is likely to open up your works to a wider global audience, in my opinion. The next composition of yours could become a solid reason to listen to your creative work in the overall big picture of things.
Комплексно может стать следующая композиция, которую мы сейчас с удовольствием послушаем.
Спасибо.
Кожної ночі дивлюсь на тебе, не можу повірити, що ти у мене є, а ти хочеш піти, я розумію чому, але просто повір, тобі не треба бути одному, просто повір, я справді змінюсь. Просто довірся мені і залишся зі мною назавжди. Я бачу, що ти не хочеш ти, а що знаєш, я просто не можу дати тобі піти. І ти знаєш чому? Я кохаю, ти знаєш. Я кохаю.
Меня зовут Влад Фисун, вы смотрите шоу «Тюнер». Сегодня у нас в гостях проект «Саманта». И, мне кажется, вторая композиция, которую только что оценили наши зрители, и я, она как раз говорит о том...
My name is Vlad Fisun. You're watching The Tuner Show. The Samantha Project is with us in our studio today. I think your second composition, just appreciated by the audience, can promote you as a project with a lot of good ideas and positive emotions. Hopefully, the size of your audience will most likely grow. Let us now turn to the matter of the appearance of your project on the show business scene and even talk about the next stage of your project. How did you reach the current level you're at? Why did you decide to take the path of creating slightly naive, easygoing, happy-go-lucky, and even freakish genre of music that can now be considered some form of ethnic music? It is special, it drew ideas from everywhere, and it is out of time and space. As well as your arrangements, actually, it is impossible to say, yes, this sounds like 2017 music. Can you tell us how and why it turned out this way?
Немножко вне времени и пространства, как и аранжировки, собственно. Невозможно прицепиться и сказать, да, это вот звучит как 2017. Как так получилось?
Мне Саманта говорит...
Samantha often tells me that I'm crazy. Yes, indeed.
А ты взаимно...
Do you exchange accusations?
Мне кажется, что она как раз...
I don't consider her crazy. Do you consider her to be the rationale in your duet? Mind you, it is generally accepted that a man is more pragmatic.
Более прагматичный.
иногда бывает... я не...
As most cases prove it, I cannot stop, and Samantha can stop at some points. The question was how it happened,
Не
so...
могу остановиться, а Саманта где-то останавливает на каких-то моментах. А как возникло, вопрос был?
Да, вот как вы именно...
произошло?
How did you come up with the concept of this project's image? In your second song, I feel that it got a sense of caprice in the lyrics and something else that one feels when maturing, both physically and morally. The universe expands for him more and more, and it gradually becomes different, multifaceted and voluminous.
Он испытывает удовольствие от роста и физического, и морального. Вот для него Вселенная все больше расширяется, она становится там и такой, и такой.
How did you come up with the idea of a combination of sophisticated and naive intonations in your music?
Соединение, не знаю, сложного и наивного, может так.
Я скажу с своей стороны, я хаотичный человек, и для меня это важно в создании чего-либо. Вот когда этот полностью...
I'll express my own opinion. I'm a chaotic person and I'm interested in creating something when there's complete disintegration and some kind of truth appears. This probably has nothing to do with the thought process. It is kind of an inspiration that just makes me create. And Samantha fixes it all. And I see the final picture of everything when everything is ready.
Саманта это все закрепляет, и тогда и я вижу уже, конечно, картинку всего, уже когда все создалось. Вот так.
Это звучит какой-то такой сложный...
It sounds like some complex physical chemical reaction, as if there was chaos. It flew and flew over us. And then some planet came out of it, a planet that is pleasant to step into.
Из этого всего, по которой приятно ступать и есть.
Потому что Саманта как раз вкладывает...
Samantha gives a verbal portrait to everything. And how do you manage with this chaos, with this madness? What do? Do you listen to quiet music or put a flower in a vase and say, I'll leave now if you do not calm down?
Цветок в вазу и говоришь, я сейчас уйду, если ты не успокоишься.
Не, в таком плане ничего не помогает. Но, а если говорить о музыке, то для меня...
This doesn't help. And if we talk about music, I don't see it as chaos and capricious music. For me, it's just normal. As if there's nothing here. Because when I hear some melody, even a jingle in advertisements, I don't know why, but I suddenly get the urge to compose a song based on it. Not especially. It just goes and I write words according to it. The situation is exactly the same when it comes to Dima's music. Words are written by themselves. I don't put a lot of thought into writing something. It just enters my mind and somehow comes out naturally without serious contemplation.
У меня под нее подстраиваются слова. И так вот, Димина музыка,
Ну, то есть также слова сами собой строятся, ты не понимаешь, что я думаю, так, а что бы такого сделать? Ну, то есть нету такой мысли, чтобы такого сделать.
То есть это не коварство.
Is this not cunning?
Так вот, а это просто...
It's like a reaction to sound, a word, a voice, a sigh, and strong emotions.
Слово, голос или там вздох, эмоция. Да, это просто...
Have you ever said to him, Dima, this song is ready as it sounds now, so just stop what you're doing, stop adding to it many parts, sounds, or tones?
Там, засовывать еще какие-нибудь партии, звуки, оттенки.
Не, ну, кажется, наверное, такое... Да, такое точно было. Ну, просто еще потому что...
Yes, there were such moments. This is also because he basically likes to create. His improvements do not make our works worse than they are. It may be full of anything fancy. This is also cool. But I like simple things. I mean, comfortable clothes, no makeup. I do not think that music is simple, but Dima's first demos attract me the most. Then some samples are added. It turns out pretty cool. But I like the first half-empty versions.
Какая-то удобная одежда, что-то вот, не знаю, чтобы не было макияжа или что-то такое. Вот с музыкой как будто бы... Ну, я не считаю, что она вот просто простая и все. Но просто как будто бы даже буквально более-менее первые, ну, не знаю, демо, можно так сказать, которые Дима показывает, чаще всего они мне вот больше всего нравятся. Ну, то есть потом добавляются какие-то сэмплы, это становится тоже очень классно, но мне как будто бы часто нравится еще с первых вот этих вот, ну, полупустых комнат. Вот так.
Как получилось?
How did you start composing together? When did it happen? Under what circumstances? If this is not a secret, of course.
При каких обстоятельствах? Если это не очень секретный вопрос.
Не секретный, ну...
It's not a secret. We saw each other while shooting in another project, and then we eventually met, and a friend of ours introduced us to Samantha,
Приятель познакомил Саманту.
who was supposed to be the heroine of the video.
Героини.
Да, да. И
She was a heroine. It was like a splash of sympathy. We didn't even like each other like the guy has hots for a girl, but it just happened that way. It was some feeling, a kind of connection. I cannot explain. We spoke for hours on end.
Симпатия даже, ну, там, не парня к девушке, хотя это тоже произошло, но вот какое-то ощущение, что может быть какая-то связь. Я не могу объяснить, потому что мы просто говорили потом, и это среди
А вот в каких-то,
прочего,
скажем,
Do you have same music tastes, or on the contrary, do you vigorously discuss everything?
что-то вызывает там бурные дискуссии.
А вот мне интересно, потому что
We try with Samantha to mutually accept our tastes in music. We do not argue about this. As for me, I wonder how she can listen and sing such music and say that she likes it.
вот,
And this, in its own strange way, this encourages me to come up with new ideas in music. In general, we managed to find some kind of balance in our thoughts and our tastes in
ты не
music.
можешь ее слушать там и петь,
Вот
и говорить, что тебе это нравится, да. И это в своем роде очень прикольно, потому что она меня подстегивает на какие-то новые идеи, тоже музыкальные штуки. В общем, это происходит такой баланс.
Ну, я вот сейчас, там, скажем, попадая в какую-нибудь компанию...
Finding myself in a group of people, I see that people, despite the fact that for many years here in Ukraine, music was considered a rather frivolous occupation, though as long as you don't sing on television, then you're considered somebody. But if you're a musician of the local level, then that is not the best profession. You are better off being a simply blue-collar worker screwing bolts into a piece of machinery and an assembly line in some manufacturing plant. Now, I see that there are serious, heated debates among local musicians regarding music, which is supported by a broad audience that is not engaged in music or engaged simply as passive listeners. As far as I understand, you calmly discuss this issue. Do your differences in taste in music satisfy both sides, and moreover, do they force you to watch, listen, and to accept such music?
Даже вот как-то очень яростно это все высказывает, участвует в этом. У вас как-то спокойно с этим происходит, насколько я понимаю? Ваши разницы во вкусах вас устраивают и, более того, заставляют вас смотреть?
Да. Ну, меня точно как бы это подталкивает. Ну, они сходятся в каких-то вещах.
It really encourages me. They can be the same in some things. Therefore, it is surprising for me that Samantha can voice what she likes and what I can perceive not to offend her.
Типа, чтобы не обидеть.
She says meaningful, sensual things. She says what she feels and understands. And this difference is very interesting to me. There are sometimes absolutely girlish things. I mean, in particular, her musical preferences and how she enjoys music when she listens to it. It's
так, она
pleasant for me
просто
to see.
иногда совершенно девические какие-то есть штуки. Вот то, что она слушает, как она радуется тому, что она слушает. И, ну, это, в общем, приятно.
Я думаю,
I think in today's program we will listen and enjoy only what the Samantha project creates and has to offer to our viewers. This is already the third time.
Третий раз уж точно. Это шоу «Тюнер», в которое попадают современные украинские музыканты. Сегодня в гостях проект «Саманта». Меня зовут...
The Tuner program brings together contemporary Ukrainian musicians. The Samantha project is with us today. I'm Vlad Fiso. What stage has your project reached? How would you describe your position? Do you already understand what to do, and do you try out new environments? Have you already formed your creative works to be recorded, released, and end up somewhere? Or is it still a period of creative growth that you enjoy and that you may wish to continue in the future?
Или еще это все-таки период творческого становления, приятный, возможно, который хочется продолжить на подольше?
Сейчас у нас есть альбом, который...
Now we have an album that will be released on audio cassette.
О, это очень...
Oh, that's very fashionable. And how's it difficult now? The revival of vinyl, as it turned out, caused an overload at factories that produced records. They had no work for 10 years and now they're swamped with orders. And those who are in this business say that it is pleasant and, at the same time, rather disastrous. Will cassettes follow their path? These days they're difficult to find, or how do you see it?
Говорят, что это там и приятно, и катастрофично. Кассета ждет такая же участь? Пленку уже с огнем не найти или как?
Ну, мне кажется, что да, потому что много исполнителей...
I think so, because many artists I like from 2012, as I noticed, began to release vinyl records and audio cassettes. It seems to be kind of a trend. At this point, this goes beyond the realm of listening to music. Just like vinyl, it is more reminiscent of a souvenir for posterity. Indeed, the truth of the matter is that I have been listening to vinyl records for several years now, and I thoroughly enjoy every moment.
Так же, как и винил.
Это, наверное, больше как сувенир, фетиш.
Ну, я тоже сейчас стал... несколько лет пользуюсь.
Do you have cassette players? Yes, I do. Cassette players? I still have one.
Класс. У меня тоже.
You don't say. That's cool. I also have one I haven't used in years.
Ну, меня точно это...
Another question is how it will sound on the cassette. I'm pretty sure it will take me back to my childhood, when in school we played punk music with classmates and recorded it on cassettes. It seems to me very nostalgic.
Ностальгический, может быть, момент.
На карандаше сидеть, перематывать.
These days you have to rewind them on the pencil. In the age of MP3 technologies, it's quite emotional. In addition to releasing it on cassettes, will it also be released on other more widely used media such as CD and MP3 players?
Выйдет еще и в тех средствах, которые сейчас все используют.
В интернете будет.
It will appear on the internet. We also plan to record it on vinyl. I definitely want this to happen.
Я точно хочу, чтобы это произошло.
Это серьезно.
It's a credible claim. And how are you going to do this? Do you have an agreement with some production company, or will you do it on your own?
Каким-то издательством или это пока?
So far, we are only talking about audio cassettes.
Аудиокассет,
О, ну это тоже неплохо.
а по поводу внутреннего.
As for internal use, so-called Ukrainian use, we have good connections with a recording company that can help us. As for releasing a record, this word slipped my mind. I've just forgotten it because of my age.
Старые связи какие-то, когда давно мы еще общались просто с одной компанией, которая может нам сделать. А по поводу какого-то издательства в плане...
A musical idea comes to mind. I'm talking about authors' rights. I was long involved in copyright laws, but after all this time I've forgotten all the legal terminology.
Пришла музыкальная идея в голову.
В плане, куда права отдать. Я очень долгое время причем занимался юриспруденцией в этой сфере, и сейчас забыл термины все.
In my opinion, it was your creative happiness that made you forget.
Забываешь все эти.
У меня был сознательный
It was my conscious choice to work in the sphere of law, and I was quietly...
юриспруденции работал, и мне потихоньку начало
Меня
очень
это
сильно...
Знаешь, мне...
There are some inconsistencies in your story. After all, Samantha considers you to be a chaotic person. I see you as a meticulous person when it comes to music. That is rather atypical for a chaotic person. Now it turns out that you also study copyright laws in music, and these are very complex processes.
Ну вот и потом, когда-то я уехал.
I participated in a festival in the United States. I returned to my office and thought, what am I doing here? And on the same day, by chance, I asked the Almighty how to do it right. I got a call from the director. Some crisis led to closure of that event, and I left with a smile. What am I driving at? I aimed to my free mind from the pragmatic thinking of a lawyer. I deliberately tried to forget everything that I had learned as it applied to the legal aspects of music production and just immerse myself in complete freedom of creativity. Such was the process.
Я сознательно пытался забыть, забыть все и погрузить себя в полную свободу для творчества. такой был процесс.
Ну, я так
As I understand, this turned out to be quite successful, and now you have complete freedom of creativity. Did you try to appear before the public? How would you describe your impressions of this all? What do you like about it, and what do you dislike from the audience? Are there some areas of your work that, in your opinion, have some room for improvements?
Не нравится со стороны аудитории, может быть, или там от себя лично, то, над чем стоит поработать.
Что скажешь?
Ну, первый раз, вот, когда я
I first appeared before a public audience with Dima in his previous project. Before this, there were situations where I needed to be seriously engaged in music. Being in the studio, I couldn't open my mouth. When I went in front of the audience, I nearly collapsed from stage fright. I couldn't even voice any sound or even greet the people. And when Dima invited me, I already thought, how long can I be so shy and strange? One time, I had to go on stage during his concert. I felt nausea. I felt so bad. I wanted to tell him that I was sick and left the event, but we were announced, we appeared, and as soon as the music began, it became easy for me. It was like switching from being you to being no longer you. In short, we had no choice but to improvise, and turned out really cool. And ever since then, I never again had to go through the horrible and nerve-wracking experience of stage fright. Prior to that, I suffered from the showbiz disease for many years, starting from school age.
ты за не в ответе, ну, типа, надо уже по ситуации действовать. Реально было так круто, но с тех пор мне вообще не было страшно. Ну, а до этого очень много лет вообще. Считаю, вот от школы лет 5.
Did you ever try to recite poems on stage? At school, I played in the theater. I sang. Everything was fine. But when it was necessary to prepare for some competition, not school but television level, I faced difficulties doing it seriously and responsibly. In fact, when we met, Dima told me, let's try to sing. I want to record your singing. I answered him with the question, how do you know that I can sing at all? I thought that he focused on stereotypes because I'm dark-skinned. And as some unwritten rule, it is widely believe that all dark-skinned people are naturally born singers, and therefore they must be able to sing well.
Ну, типа, хочу что-то пробовать записать. Я говорю, откуда ты знаешь, что я вообще могу петь? Ну, потому что я подумала, может, это еще какие-то шаблоны, типа, темнокожие, и у всех голоса.
Now you sound like Aretha Franklin.
Да, хотя это... Ну, просто я подумала, что...
I thought so, because stereotype thinking plays the main role always. I don't have a jazz voice. It was so strange that he was sure that I could. I was surprised when he said, well, how is it? Why can't you sing? You are destined to sing. And it happened so because he found that I actually have a God-given talent for singing.
Ему показалось, что я могу петь.
I'm glad that this experience was successful, and I think we should make sure for the 4th time that it was successful.
4-й раз убедиться в том, что она действительно удалась.
You've been watching the Tuner Show about contemporary Ukrainian music. The Samantha Project was with us today. Catch you all music lovers in our next show.